incredible Sunday night. This is Beyond Ringside Live. 9 minutes after the top of the hour, welcome back in live from Studio One on this 10th day of November. And a private joke between myself and a couple of 100,000 people. Yes, every once in a while, I do get the date right. Sometimes I get it wrong. I can.
You had a calendar in front of you, didn't you?
Yes, I did actually this time. Tasha Simone, welcome back in.
What's up? What's up?
Like I said, it's been a beautiful day and it's been a great night and it's going to keep getting better. Friends, longtime friend of the Beyond Ringside Radio Network joining us right here and right now. He is the man behind it all, not only with LXW, the League of Extraordinary Wrestlers, but he is the man behind it all with IWA-Deep South. Kevin Brannen, welcome in, my friend.
I'm glad you had me back, Eddie.
It is always a pleasure. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know for a fact the door is always open. I've had an opportunity to work with some really great shows with IWA-Deep South and with LXW, and on the horizon next Saturday and next Sunday, November 16 and 17. See, I get the dates right every once in a while. IWA-Deep South presents Carnage Cup 9. Now, for those who have come along over the last year and are not familiar with the Carnage Cup concept, I would like to ask you to lay it out there for everybody.
Carnage Cup is our annual deathmatch tournament that we do, and I started back in 2005. I won't go through a in-depth history, but just briefly, I was the first one to start promoting a deathmatch tournament in the South, and so we've been doing this as our 9th one, and it's more extreme than hardcore. Most people are used to hardcore, chairs, tables, ladders, maybe some thumbtacks, and a little bit of barbed wire, but ours would be in the ultra-violent category, which would be like the most violent of the violent, the most extreme of the extreme. Whatever the most violent match you can think of. At times we go even further than, your imagination. And so the guys that go out there and bust their ass every year when we do these, and we try to top the previous year. And so if you're not a fan of the ultra violence, then, it probably wouldn't be a good show. There'll be, for you to come to, there'll be one match on Sunday that will be a standard match, but it's pretty much, blood and guts, ultra violence for the most part. And so, if you're a big fan of it, if you're remotely close to Tennessee, we're in Tullahoma. It's about 45, 50 miles south of Nashville. So, there's people coming in from New York, Pennsylvania, people coming in from all over to come to this year. So, I'd say if you're remotely within the area, I would say come, but then there's people coming from, thousands of miles. So, if you really love this style, there's not a whole lot of us left. Besides the Carnage Cup, the only other annual deathmatch tournament that runs is Tournament of Death, put on by CZW.
Right.
And right now we're the two biggest ones. There's some smaller ones that are not as well known, but Carnage Cup and Tournament of Death are the two most well-known deathmatch tournaments now in the U.S. So if you don't have plans next weekend, I recommend coming out to Tullahoma, Tennessee, Saturday and Sunday.
Because normally I would make the statement that if you're within 2 hours, but an event such as this is so unique. And actually, having been to a couple of them, the audience is so diverse. And I meet a lot of people who say that they have gone for the first time and really enjoyed it. And this will be my third opportunity to either be at or be a part of Carnage Cup. And the first time that I was there, I didn't know what to expect live and in person. I'd seen it on DVD. I'd seen it on video demand from different companies, including Westside Extreme over in the European market. And I'd never been to an event live. And I will say this. It is a completely unique and different style of professional wrestling. And there are people out there that go, these guys aren't trained. Well, you know something? You haven't really seen it up close. You haven't really paid attention, because I know for fact that a lot of the guys who are on this tournament or in this tournament, are very accomplished professional wrestlers in the traditional mainstream sense, as well as accomplished in the ultraviolet / deathmatch category. So I will step up to the plate for that, because I've had an opportunity to watch a number of these guys work traditional matches, as well as the deathmatch style. So for those who say, well, do your homework first. And don't let what happens in your backyard affect what happens when trained professionals do it. There is a difference between what happens inside the confines of your backyard and what happens inside the confines of a real professional wrestling ring with real wrestlers. So we'll leave that at that. And let's take a look at before we do, let me go ahead and lay this one out there. Now, advance tickets, they are still available, right?
That's correct. Advanced tickets have been moving really good this year. I had a really good response with advanced tickets this year. And if you want to get your tickets and save some money, the two-day ticket is $30, and then the one-day ticket is $15. That's the advanced price. If you wait until Saturday, then there'll be $40 for the two-day ticket or $20 for a single day. And so, you're saving some money. You're gonna come out better go and get them in advance. There's several people have already gotten them in advance. A lot of people from out of state have already gotten theirs. And so I encourage anybody that wants to save some money to get in touch with me. You can go to www.IWA-Deep-South.com. You can go to the IWA Deep South Facebook page, or you can email me at alabamapro@hotmail.com. And if you have PayPal, then you can order your tickets online with a PayPal account. And so I encourage you to do that if you hadn't already gotten yours.
And also, I'd recommend people taking a look over at IWALXW.com, because there is you get a chance to catch not only what's going on with the tournament itself, but you also get a chance to take a look and get an opportunity to look at some of the previous DVDs or videos on demand. And of course, by the way, that brings me to my next question. This one, of course, has in previous days you have shot for DVD and video on demand. Are you going to be doing it for this one?
Yes, I will be shooting it for DVD and video on demand. I had hoped to do an pay-per-view, but it didn't work out this year. But I've got some new things in the works for next year, and so I always try to plan for bigger and better. So next year when we do Carnage Cup 10, I'm hoping it to be bigger and better. And so, but this year it will be on DVD and video on demand. And like you said, the website has the entire catalog, every IWA Deep South show we've done, and the 3LXW shows. We have all those on DVD for purchase off the website. So if there's a show that you want to see that you missed or hadn't saw on DVD, then we've got every one of them on the website.
And of course, the video, the first run of the DVD as well as the video on demand will be available through SmartMark Video, right?
Yes, that'd be through SmartMark Video for this one, yeah. And
do we do the shameless plug for the people who will be shooting the video?
Yeah, SmartMarkVideo.com.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if Blue Fedora was going to be out there doing the shooting themselves, or if their SmartMark was going to have their people.
No, it'd be SmartMark Video. I'll be shooting this one.
Oh, okay.
And so they'll be shooting it, and I'll never know. It may be somebody different next year. I'm working on there's a couple of things in the works. So, but for this one though, it will be SmartMark Video.
Not a problem. I'm always happy to see them out there. They run a great organization. Let's take a look at some of the matches that you've got coming up as part of Carnage Cup 9 this coming weekend, the 16th and 17th in Tullahoma, Tennessee. A hostile death match, AHOSTEL. Now, I've got a basic idea, but I want to hear it from you. It's going to feature the Angel of Death, John Rare, taking on Christian Cross.
Okay, hostile. Most are you familiar with the movies, Hostel?
Yeah.
We, just borrow that, from the movie, but it basically, the gimmicks in the match are going to be torture gimmicks type, and so it's going to be similar to like how we did the Saw matches, but it's going to be a different, array of weapons. Different. Some of them will be different, and that's Angel of Death, John Rare against Christian Cross. Everybody knows John Rare. I mean, he debuted back in Carnage Cup 7 and had the first Saw match with Spider. They've had a feud they've been running for a while, so I don't know if they'll be able to continue it at this show. But anyway, he's got Christian Cross first round, and he's a young upstart newcomer. He's trying to make a name for himself. I've spoken with him several times, and this kid's crazy. I mean, he's pretty much willing to do anything, put his body on the line, and go and pull it all out, to try to take a win over John Rare. So this one's going to be a really brutal match, I believe, because you got two guys. I mean, both those two guys are two of the crazier guys that are on the tournament. I mean, all the guys are crazy, but there's some guys on the tournament more so than others, that'll go that extra mile, to ensure that they win the match. Not just win the match, but, hurt their opponents,
First round matchup in Carnage Cup 9. Pat's Purgatory Death Match is the theme. Yukon Jack taking on a good friend of ours here on the network, Freak Show.
Yukon Jack is a local professional wrestler in Tullahoma, and he books as the building we're running. They run a show every Friday, and he's the guy. He's the main booker guy, and so he's got a real big following up in that area, and so we wanted to get him on there because he's a local favorite, and this is our first time going to Tullahoma. And him and Freak Show are no stranger. They had blood feuds in the Tullahoma area and all throughout Tennessee. Everybody knows Freak Show. Freak Show's been on every Carnage Cup since 2005. He's a 2007 Carnage Cup winner. Last year, himself along with Spider Boudreaux were both inducted into the Deep South Ultraviolet Hall of Fame. They were the first two inductees into the Deep South Ultraviolet Hall of Fame. So, and these two they got bad blood. They got a feud that's been running for a couple of years now. The Pat's Purgatory, the gimmick, a guy named Pat Pruitt, a good friend of mine, he's going to be supplying the gimmicks for that match. I don't know what he's going to bring. I'll just let him pretty much bring what he wants. And so whatever Pat brings, that's what they'll have to work with. And so I don't really know what to expect. Other than it should be a real heated match because they got bad blood. But in terms of gimmicks, I don't have any idea right now.
A lot of people in the southeastern U.S. are going to know these two names in the first round of Carnage Cup. It's a nail-in-the-head death match. Bryant Wood taking on J Impact. Kevin?
Brian Woods, Suicidal Beast. Brian Woods, he's one half of the tag team. Sickness was Spider Boudreaux. He debuted last year at Carnage Cup 8 against Spider Boudreaux in the first round, and he come up short against Spider. He's going to be taking on J Impact. J Impact's a newcomer. He debuted back at Cage of Carnage in March. He's a young, high-flying guy. Does a lot of spots and flashy moves. And Brian's just no nonsense, just smash mouth. So it's going to be a styles clash. Brian's more of a brawler, and Jay's more of a high flyer, and so they got nail in the head. I know, for what Brian's told me, this is Brian's match. I know he's gonna have a bed of nails, and from what I've been told, to finish the match, you have to nail a nail in your opponent's head, and I know it sounds crazy, but
yeah,
that's the way it's looking like. You have to finish your opponent with that, so that's gonna be rough, man.
A smash, pow, boom death match. Tank taking on the Bulldozer. Matt Tremont.
This one's gonna be a good one. Matt Tremont, everybody knows he debuted back in Carnage Cup 7. That was actually his first deathmatch tournament. He debuted with me before going to CZW. I mean, he's accomplished a lot in just a couple of years. He's pretty much the top deathmatch guy in CZW right now. Tank, I mean, he's been around a long time. He started back at NWA Wildside.
Yep.
He was the first Carnage Cup winner back in 05. He beat the Necro Butcher in the finals of the very first Carnage Cup. And so this is his first show back in several years. It's just going to be a real stiff match. Just two big guys in there beating the hell out of each other. Smash, boom, smash, pow, boom. A lot of Line 2 bundles in there. VCRs, DVD players, Xbox, trash can, just, stuff. It's going to be smash, pow, boom, And so it's going to be I would just say a good, stiff brawl match. And that's what I would say about that one.
The Dead Sea Circus Net Death Match. That can easily be misconstrued and mispronounced by me especially. It's going to be the IWA-Deep South champion, Spider Boudreaux, taking on California Deathmatch star J.D. Horror. Kevin?
Everybody knows Spider Boudreaux. He's been with me since my first show. He was last year's winner, Carnage Cup 8 winner, Deep South Ultraviolet Hall of Fame inductee, reigning IWA-Deep South champions. He's won every accolade that the company has to offer. Facing J.D. Hart. J.D. Hart is, from what I understand, is the top deathmatch guy in California. He's not been around too long, but he's stepped up the ladder, and he's crazy. I mean, he'll do anything. He's a really well-rounded, accomplished wrestler, as well as just crazy, sick, ultraviolet style. Nobody does it better, from what I've heard in California. Death Sea. It's going to be a lot of fish hooks in there, fishing line, fish hook bats, seashells, a frame gimmick, double layer with barbed wire on bottom, fishing line with fish hooks on top. And I know that's probably hard to visualize. You just have to come and see it, because I try to explain it, and people say, "What the hell? Well, what's a box with a fishing line and barbed wire?" Well, you just have to come and see it, So that one is going to be a really brutal match. Two guys, that just don't give it down. They'll do anything to win. So it should be a good one.
See, the fun part for me is, and you're speaking to somebody who admired the hardcore style back years ago when it was mainstream with Extreme Championship Wrestling and WCW doing their version of it and WWE doing their version of it. And you really didn't see that much innovation. And this is something that I will say, having been to 3 Carnage Cups, there is innovation involved. They look to step it to the next level. It's not just garbage cans and kendo sticks, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They go through the time and the thought process to come up with these different weapons. And it's just, it astounds me. And you made a reference to me before we hit the sixth match. You made a reference to me that there were going to be two good friends of the show, coming up to do commentary for the DVD taping. And one of them, of course, good friend of ours, Smooth Pleasing. And the other one is a person that has gotten me to pop on more than one occasion because of an invention that he created. And Tasha, I don't know if I'm still listening to me point blank on this one, but I told you about this before. Nathan Hamilton's the gentleman's name, and he is the one who created the barbed wire toilet seat that I pop for. Literally pop.
Oh,
yes. So,
Lord have
and needless to say, when Nathan said that he was going to put one together for me, he said, of course, it was going to be a clean toilet seat and clean barbed wire, not ring used. I'm going, thank you. It's going in the studio.
Oh, but what the hell? There's no fun in that if it's not used already. That's part of the draw to it, the hair, eyes, and teeth that are stuck to the barbed wire.
You don't seem to remember the fact that I'm actually a germaphobe, right?
Yeah,
and I'm
that's why you're sick, dude. That's what causes you to get sick. Germs. How do you like hardcore and be a germaphobe?
Because I'm at a distance. No, I'm not really a germaphobe. It's just, I'm really not. Moving on, Carnage Cup 9 on the 16th and 17th. In the first round, an X marks the spot match. John Wayne Murdoch, formerly known as Damian Payne, taking on Josh Crow Part 2.
Josh Crow. Oh, the Part 2 is the second meeting between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the Part 2 is a rematch from the first round last year.
I thought there might have been a cloning process involved or something. Wasn't quite sure.
It was formerly Damian Payne. He's changed his name, and he's now John Wayne Murdoch. Yes, he looks like, was it Dick Murdoch?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't think of the guy's first name. Yeah, but he's got that Murdoch look. But anyway, he's working Josh Crow. It marks the spot. It's going to be light two bundles shaped in shape of the X. And so it'll be just a ton of those, just a lot of glass. And I don't know if you saw last year.
Oh, yeah.
I think they stole the first round. They had a hell of a match. I mean, it was a lot of wrestling involved. Not every match has as much wrestling. I mean, all the guys are wrestlers, but the brawlers aren't going to do catch as catch can, arm drags and, hip tosses and stuff like that. But these guys just put on a clinic. I mean, they did, had the light twos, but they put on a wrestling clinic with the glass, and they just were amazing last year. And so they're going. They told me they're going to try to top what they done last year. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that one's going to be one to look for. I'm really looking forward to that rematch.
A match and style that I am very familiar with. A carpet strip massacre. And matter of fact, I believe you had one of those at CC7, the first one that I came to. Or a variant thereof, I'll put it that way. Relentless Ron Mathis, and I will let you handle the pronunciation of his opponent's name.
Yeah, his opponent's name is Danger. And this is a guy, he's from Ohio. He comes from Cleveland, Ohio with Ron Mathis. And these two guys know each other. Ron debuted last year, but this will be the first time that I'll be seeing Danger in action. Yeah, it's going to be a corporate strip massacre, but we're not going to it's not going to be set up the same way that the corporate strip massacre was in CC7. It's going to be more, more boards, tables and stuff. I think we mainly just did like loose carpet strips in CC7. So there's going to be more bumping gimmicks with the carpet strips this time. So these guys like to bump a lot. And so I don't know what to expect. I know Ron's one of the best up-and-coming deathmatch guys in CCW right now. He's not far behind Matt Tremont. He's really took over the scene up there in the East Coast area. the Gander, I hadn't saw Gander yet. I've just been referred to him, and Ron said, he said he was a really, really good worker. He kind of has that Taz look. He looks kind of like Taz. He likes a lot of suplexes and a lot of throws. So I'm anticipating this match very much. I think it'll be a really good match. Even though I don't know Gander, I trust guys that have referred him to me. So I'm looking forward to this one.
And the final match in the first round of Carnage Cup 9, a House of Glass match. Sid Fabulous and American Kickboxer 2.
If you remember these two guys last year, they debuted as well. Sid Fabulous wrestled Matt Tremont in the first round in the Barbed Wire Massacre, and he really busted his ass. Sid was incredible. I mean, him and Tremont had an amazing match last year. I mean, a bump machine. I mean, he bumps everything so hard, and he works so hard. Kickboxer the same way. He worked Neil Diamond Cutter last year. Kickboxer, real hard worker. Both these guys are smaller guys that do a lot of lucha, high spots. They're going to have the House of Glass, pretty much light tubes taped on the ropes all the way around. I'm saying in the upwards of 100 plus tubes. With these two guys, so it's probably going to be very bloody. I mean, and I would say probably one of the more spottier matches of the first round. I love spotty death matches. There's not a lot of guys that can work lucha and do high spots that do death matches. I mean, there's just not a lot of guys. Most of the guys, are fairly bigger, and so if you can find some guys that'll do the lucha and the high flying and stuff, you need to book them, because I mean it's a treat. I mean, because you're combining the two elements of the lucha and the high flying with the ultra violence, and so for me personally, I like guys that can work that way. So I'm very much looking forward to it.
Now, in addition,
I have a question.
Okay.
American Kickboxer, the original, Frank Mullins, is a very, very close friend of mine. How would you compare American Kickboxer 2 to Frank?
I'm not too familiar with the original Kickboxer, but the 2
I watched the original Kickboxer break his neck and work another 15 minutes in a match with Tarek the Great.
Damn.
Yeah, I've heard of Terry. I've heard of the original Kickboxer. I just hadn't saw any matches of him. But now 2, from what I understand, was trained by the original American Kickboxer. But I know he's a good bit smaller and probably more spottier. I don't know if did the first one, did the original, did he work a lot of lucha and like high flying and stuff?
Absolutely did. Yes, he absolutely did. Frank is not much bigger than me. Worked for Ian in IWA Mid-South quite a lot. He's also a judo expert, used a lot of judo in his matches. Also did the Izzy High gimmick for KW in Memphis. He and I worked together quite a substantial amount of time, along with our good friends Bull Payne. Like I said, I'm very familiar with Frank. I have not seen 2 work. I do know that he was trained by Frank, but not having seen him work, I don't have a comparison.
Oh, okay. So you've done some work with Bull Payne before, too?
Bull Payne is one of my best friends in the whole wide world. I took my first table bump with Bull.
Okay. Yeah, Bull's worked for me before. He worked one of the Carnage Cup with me. Yeah, I really like Bull. Yeah, he's a great guy.
I think we need to get Tasha down there next weekend.
Yes, she'd probably have a good time.
I have a feeling she would. Now, in addition to the first round of the tournament, in addition to the tournament matches themselves, of course, we're not going to go into the stipulations on the second round of the tournament and going into the semis and the finals. But I will say this. Folks, it does get crazier the deeper you get into the tournament. The first round matchups look like and come across like they are going to be solid matchups. They are. You want to be there for the 16th, but you definitely want to get the 2-day ticket and be there for the 16th and the 17th because the action is going to be intense and it is going to be hardcore and then some. I use the word hardcore basically to reach out to those who were spoiled on WWE and ECW. Now, I have a lot of respect for what they did in Extreme Championship Wrestling back in the day because they did as much as they could on television, but they let it rip on the pay-per-views. This is an opportunity to take what you saw in that particular regard and take it to a higher level. And that, my friends, is a shoot, plain and simple. In addition to the tournament matches, now you're going to have 3 non-tournament matches, and these are going to be on Sunday, right?
That's correct.
If my notes are correct, you have a champion versus champion match. The $5 world champion, Big Donnie, taking on the LXW Extraordinary Champion in Red Solo Cup. Kev?
Okay, I have to give you an update. I was just notified earlier today, Red Solo Cup, I'll be there, and so I am looking right now into that match being changed. The Big Donnie will still be there, and he'll still have a match, but that match will be that he'll have a different opponent. So right now, I'm still working on that.
Okay, and what are the other matches you've got slated that are non-tournament?
Okay, one is the multi-man lucha match, was just a high-flying lucha match. See Christian Hayne, see Jeremy Flint, see Caden Sade, and there'll be a couple other guys in there that I hadn't announced yet. And we've got one other non-tournament match, but it's a surprise. We're not announcing it. The people that buy the second day ticket, I have to just wait and see. So we're trying not to give everybody everything right now. So if you come, you'll get to see, the other matches and other participants. So that's what we're releasing right now.
I normally try to look at a lineup and say this match could steal the show. This match could be your sleeper match. This match could be the one that it really just breaks loose. And honestly, all 8 first-round matches have that potential. You could find a person who goes to even higher level in any one of these 8 matches. You have someone that could break through to another level of notoriety and respect in any of these matches. And so this is definitely, once again, I was there for 7, I was there for part of 8, and I'll be there for both days of 9. And it is going to be a blast. Once again, I don't care if you're in Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Louisiana, come on out. I mean, Kev made the comment a little bit earlier that he's got people coming in from the Northeast and from the Central States region just for Carnage Cup. And you get a chance to see some tremendous, and I do mean tremendous, and I'll go and throw this one in there, some sick action too.
Yeah.
And if you've never been to an event of this style, check it at the door. Come in with open eyes and open mind. Now, I say open eyes, I'm going to go ahead and say this. You might want to bring a pair of goggles. That's legit, kids. That's not me ribbing. That's not me expounding on something in a different direction. I'd say go ahead and, the reason why I say is because in 2 of the matches you've heard that there will be tubes involved. As in light tubes, which, by the way, are you still using Sylvania? If you are, I'm going to go buy stock now.
Yeah, I'm using Sylvania, man, because they're cheaper, and, you're just going to bust them anyway. I recommend going to Lowe's. I went to Home Depot, and for the same box, the 32s, they were $20 more, for GE. And you go to the Sylvania, they're, I wouldn't use anything to Sylvania.
Okay.
I think they're like $35 a box for 32s. And so, they're like $59 plus tax for GE. I wouldn't do it, man,
So
one shot, it's gone. So you better buy the cheapest ones you can, you know.
So I'm buying stock in 2 companies before this coming weekend. Cool. And actually 3, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. But Kev, first off, now, so we can't get that other match out of you. There's no way we can get the exclusive here on Beyond Ringside. You're going to you want everybody to be surprised when they come to Tullahoma, right?
That's right. They're going to have to be surprised.
Folks, this is going to be at the SWF Arena, also located at 106 Southside Drive in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Check out IWALXW.com. Check out IWADeepSouth.com. Don't forget you can like them on Facebook. There is a Facebook event page just for IWA Deep South Carnage Cup 9. And you can see the information that we've been discussing here on Beyond Ringside tonight. And I just want to say this. I am really, really looking forward to having a great time all over again. Unfortunately, it will be, with all due respect to my friends up in Tennessee, sorry kids, unfortunately this will be in Tennessee as opposed to Alabama where, of course, the tournament was found. Where the majority of the tournaments have been. And I'll go ahead and take care of this part because with the advent of the Alabama Athletic Commission and the standards that they put forth, we're dealing with a situation. And I say we because I'm blessed to be a part of IWA and with LXW. We're facing a situation where it's people who don't always understand the diverse nature of professional wrestling and those who want to go in different directions other than the norm and the mainstream, which is what they seem to understand. Sorry kids, that's the truth. So therefore, the Alabama Athletic Commission in all of their glory, and I will not use another word, but in all of their glory, they have basically said, you can't have this style of match in this tournament in the state of Alabama. No. We don't. We think this, we think this, we think this. You can't do it. And I feel that, and this is, everybody knows I have a great working relationship with Brandon Owens, the executive director of the AAC. But I feel in this circumstance, the Alabama Athletic Commission is depriving the fans of Alabama who want to see this event in our home state the opportunity to have Carnage Cup 9 in the state of Alabama. Like I said, I have a great working relationship with the AAC, but they also know that I'm going to tell the truth. And I will express my opinion in no uncertain terms. I'm not bashing them. I'm not slamming them. Not in any capacity. Because I feel some of the work that they have done since they have adopted pro wrestling under their wing has been good and beneficial for professional wrestling. But in this circumstance, I feel it is an entirely different direction. And I think that they're missing the boat on this one. So that's just my opinion as the host and moderator of Beyond Ringside, not as a person who works with, but note for the fact that I also work with IWA and LXW very proudly. Put that in proper perspective. Real quick, Kev, loaded question. Any other surprises, any other comments you want to lay out there about the 16th and 17th?
Nothing I can think of, Eddie. But you'll be doing the ring announcing and, doing part of the commentary. So I'm glad to have you on board with me. And
also tag team partner for Beyond Ringside. Hostess emeritus is the phrase that I'm going to use. Mark MaBo Bowman slated to join us up there as well. And you've kind of heard there might be a Tasha Simone sighting. La Reina del Pile driver could be coerced into dropping down to Tullahoma. We'll see what we can do on that one. Kev, it is always a pleasure to have you on board. And of course, dude, you're always welcome to pop in.
I appreciate you having me on, Eddie.
Before we run, Tasha, any other questions or comments you'd like to put out for Kevin Brannen?
No, he mentioned a few names of a couple of kids that I'm actually helping out in this area, Caden Sade being one of them. He's trying to become a part of my locker room brat crew. I might have to hop down there and see what's going on, really just because I'm intrigued to see if Kickboxer 2 is anywhere near what Kickboxer 1 is.
Well, anything can happen in that regard, and it's definitely, like I said, with you knowing Caden and with you wanting to check out Kickboxer 2, definitely. Like I said, there could be a Tasha Simone sighting. You just never know. Ladies and gentlemen.
I'll be disguise.
Say what?
I'll be in disguise, incognito.
She'll be a diminutive redhead with a world championship somewhere close to her. As in 3-time NWA Women's World Championship. But she can only have 1 belt, not 3. There you go. She needs the trophy case with all 3 belts. And I don't care which... Say what?
I'm saying there you go.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest and good friend of the family, Kevin Brannen with IWA-Deep South and LXW, has once again gone beyond ringside. Hang with us. We'll be back to put a nice, neat bow on everything. No, we'll just take a chainsaw to it. Right after this, this is Beyond Ringside Live.